Carlos Fernández Valdovinos is the governor, Central Bank of Paraguay, for the second year in a row, an A, the top grade by Global Finance. Sorry, Governor, can you tell us a little bit about the Paraguayan economy?
Well, these are challenging times for emerging markets and also for Paraguay, especially because we are surrounded by two large economies going into a process of adjustment, Brazil and Argentina. So it was a tough year, an adjustment year, because on top of that, we suffered also a 40% drop in main export. But if I have to define the economy, I have to use one word: resilience. Because really last year we grew by more than 3%, and this year again we are expecting to finish growing at 4%. That is quite unusual at the regional level. Moreover, it's probably the only country to which the IMF made an upward revision on the growth forecast. So it's quite an accomplishment for the economy this tough year.
So they raised the forecast from April to now?
Exactly. They rose from 2.9% to 3.5%. You know, they're very conservative. We are sure we're going to finish at 4% growth rate. But the fact that they were reviewing and quite substantially upwards is quite an accomplishment for a small economy like Paraguay.
I remember very clearly the last year when I asked you about your main concern and I asked if China worried you. You told me something like, "Are you kidding? We are next to Brazil and look what's going on in Brazil." You mentioned it a minute ago. How worried are you about your neighbor's economic condition?
I'm moderately optimistic on Brazil. I mean, probably the worst is over. If you look at the numbers, especially confidence, I mean, the skyrocket recently with the change in government. More importantly, if you look at what they are doing, on the fiscal and monetary, I think they're moving on the right direction. That will create more stability in Brazil, and of course that will have positive spillover in all our countries. So if last year I was really concerned with Brazil, I'm very optimistic going forward that they will deliver the growth rate they needed, and that is going to be good for us.
Now, what about the general themes being discussed here? I mean, the economy in Paraguay is growing, but as you know, the mantra this year is too little growth for too long. What is your assessment of what has been discussed and is being discussed at the IMF and World Bank meetings this year?
Yes, I mean, the difficulty here is that if you put everyone in the same bag, it's difficult to get a lesson. I agree that in many parts of the world, growth is too little for too long. But in the case of Latin America, that is not the same. I would say is too low with respect for previous years, that is during the commodity price boom. But what is important is what is the policy response to the too low for too long. I have to give an advice. I think that now that we are seeing some recovery in the main countries, now that there is little fiscal or monetary space, we need to start thinking about structural reforms at this moment. We need to start thinking about the long-term growth rate. We need to stop thinking about the cycle and start thinking about the trend. That is going to be key in order to improve the growth forecast for the following years.
And how much does your economy feel the effect of all this negative interest rates in advanced economy? Is it affecting trade, or is not particularly of a concern from your point of view?
We see the positive side of that in the sense that financial conditions are still favorable. That's unusual, unexpected, I would say. So we were taking advantage of that, like funding the fiscal in order to do all the capital spending that is needed. It may be the case that next year we're going to the markets again. So there are some negative effects and positive effects, and we are taking advantage of the positive one with low interest rate. It's easier to place bonds, and that is exactly what the government is doing at this moment.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.